What's up, everyone? Welcome to Illegal Alien Racing. Glad you're here. This is a pretty interesting race. This is the Rental Kart League Heavies Final out at Dallas Karting Complex. But first, let me show you what happened in last month's race. That is me on the right, Justin on the left. This is the final lap, final corner for 5th spot. Side by side. And I barely nudged him out. It was a pretty cool finish. Wanted to show you guys that before the start of this one. Now, I switched karts in this race, so I had to start in the very back. So I am dead last, and there's the proof right there. We go green. Kind of a chaotic start. Talon gets pushed into the barrier and slides off track. And then kart 8 right there, I guess just cuts across and almost spins himself out. Generally not a good idea to cut across and switch lanes like that on the start. Someone's nose may be there and you can spin yourself out, especially on this surface. It's really slippery and it's easy to do that, more so than if the track were just regular. We're up to 20th spot, so far so good. But right here I'm going to lose a couple of positions. We want to survive, definitely. Look at all those karts ahead of us, just mass chaos usually. So we're going to go to the bottom here and try to pick up a couple of spots. There's 25 drivers in this race, and we're up to 19th. I'm going to stay committed here behind kart number 11. It's a left-right chicane. And right here, I'm going to be on the outside, and I'm hoping right here that the guy to the inside gives me enough space, and he does, so thank you for that. I'm going to race him here into this corner. And right there, somebody gets spun out, takes himself out. Joe gets taken out. He takes someone else out and himself out. 3 wide. I'm going to stick to the bottom, and all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere, kart number 11. What the hell is this guy doing? I'm really pissed at this guy. So I'm going to go in behind kart number 2 here. He's got position, and watch this. He slows down, not sure why, and I run right into the back of him. So I'm going to go around him and focus on kart number 11. I'm so pissed off at kart number 11 for the stupid driving, the dive bomb. I know it's rental kart racing, but man, that's just stupid driving. So I get a run on him. He's all looking at me. I'm going to give him a little bump with my kart, let him know I didn't really appreciate that right there. So we're going to forget about him until this. Boom, a bump and run. There he goes again, just impressing the Formula One scouts that are in the stands watching. He's absolutely killing it. You guys are right. I'm too nice, so let's pay this guy back. I'm going to follow this guy to the inside of him. And right there, I'm going to drive his ass off the track. Middle finger and everything. And you see he's all pissed off, putting his hands up in the air. Well, let's go back and figure out why he got driven off the track. Do you remember this just a few corners ago? 3 wide, I'm at the bottom, well into the turn, all of a sudden there he is, just killing it with his driving skill, really impressing everybody. I tried to grab his roll bar to hold him back, wasn't able to do it. Yeah, so that's just absolute shit driving, and your ass got driven off the track because of that. I'm tired of being driven rough and me not doing anything about it. So if somebody drives me that rough, I'm going to pay them back as much as I can. So he's going to have to deal with it. Too bad. I'm a little rough with that driver there going inside. Good on him that he didn't cut all the way across. He would have spun himself out. So I'm still kind of pissed off at kart number 11, just going back and watching this footage. I don't know what kind of driving that is. I know this is rental kart racing, but man, that is just stupid driving. It doesn't get any more dumb than that. If you're new to this rental kart racing series, that's not how you drive. You try to have a little bit more finesse. These do have bumpers on them. I understand that, but they're not made to be used that intentionally. So we're up to 14th from 25th. So the race is going fairly well so far. My kart is pretty good, so no complaints there. Get a really good run on kart number 5. That is Juan. He actually bought my Sodi kart. If you're familiar with the Sodi kart, he just bought it, so look for him out there driving it. Look at his hand position. I noticed this watching the footage. It's really high up on the steering wheel. It should be further down like kind of like where mine is, or maybe just a little bit up from where mine is. I think his is kind of on top of the steering wheel. Seems a little top heavy to me, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about kart number 11's driving in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think that I was too harsh with him? Do you think that he got what he deserved? I'm just curious, because you guys have left comments in the past saying you're too nice, and you know, I try to race cleanly as much as possible. Man, I just lost my cool with him. I'm tired of that crap. I'm going to pay him back. So right here, I'm next to this guy. I'm going to give him a fist bump. Don't know who the hell he is, but at least I can't recognize him with this helmet on. You see Juan there just sliding all over the place, coming in way too hot. So at this point, I forgot completely about kart number 11. I'm driving my race, and he's way back there. That is Chris, number 18. I get a good run, get 2 karts in a short little stretch there. Up to 10th spot. Things are looking pretty good. Have plenty of laps left in the race. So this corner right here, if you watch the last race, this is normally turn 3, but going in the reverse direction, I have no idea what the corner is. But I dropped the wheel off right in there, and it spun my kart around, and I went from, I can't remember what spot I was in. I think it was like around 10th or 9th or something like that. And I spun out, ended up in dead last, and I was able to catch one guy in the very last lap and get up to 19th. But again, I wasn't happy with my kart assignment, so I decided to gamble and go with another kart. And when you do that, you do have to start in the very back. As far as changing karts, I think we should have maybe, you should be able to do that maybe once per season, if it were up to me, not multiple times. But if you're already starting in the back, there's really no quote penalty for just starting, you know, say 4 or 5 positions further back. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. And there's a couple of karts in here that are just really slow karts. So if you get one of those, it's definitely worth making a change and starting in the rear. Otherwise, you're just going to get passed. There's Michael in kart number 17. We wave at each other. I'm really getting a good bite at that section of the track and just passing a lot of people right there. We're now spread out, so it's going to take a little longer to catch people. You see him wave there. A lot of people wave. I just don't always watch all of the rear view footage all of the time, but it's funny when people do wave with the camera. So if you're ever behind me, which is probably all the time, I'm just kidding. If you're ever behind me, give me a wave. I'll see. If I see it, I'll try to put it in the video. All right, we've got 1 kart ahead of us and then 2 right ahead of him. So let's work hard and try to catch him. I really love going the reverse direction. It's just so cool. I think it flows a lot better. And then this corner here, which is normally the last corner, very dangerous corner. A lot of accidents in this corner going the opposite way. And going this direction, though, it's a pretty tame corner overall. This section here seems to be tough because you're coming in carrying tons of speed. Then you have to slow down through here. I don't know if you can hear that, but somebody outside is revving their street bike. Kind of missed that corner there just a little bit. So the key to doing well, one of the keys to doing well in these rental kart races, since it's a rental kart and all of the karts are different, you have to figure out what kind of kart you have. It's a good idea in the outlap to go, you know, kind of fast and then just mash on the brakes to see what kind of brakes you have, if they're really touchy or if they're really soft, because you don't want to find out what kind of brakes you have when you're applying them for the very first time in a corner after the green flag has dropped around a bunch of other drivers, because you can definitely lock them up and spin out. So I like to do that in the outlap when we're trying to set up to grid up here. Just kind of get some speed going and mash the brakes a little bit. Just pop them pretty hard and see what you've got. Other thing too is you have to drive really consistent. You know, it's better to be consistently good than occasionally great, meaning that, let's say you drive the fastest lap of the race, but then, you know, the next lap you really suck and you're probably 19th fastest, and then the next lap you come back and you're maybe 5th fastest, and you're 8th fastest, and then you're 4th fastest, and then 9th fastest, and your lap times are just like all over the place. Now granted, that's assuming that there's no traffic around you or you're not really in a race with somebody. But try to be consistent and let the other people make the mistakes, and you try to capitalize on that versus you making the mistakes and them taking advantage of you. We're starting to catch this driver. This is kind of taking a long time. The further you figure out, kind of the further you move through the field, obviously the drivers tend to be a little better and a little bit more proficient than some of the guys towards the back. Now there are some guys that are hanging out in the back that are really good drivers, and one of two things happening: they wrecked out, got wrecked out, that counts as one, or they drew a bad card. All right, so we're coming up on the section that I'm seeming to do pretty good at compared to the other drivers. This right-hander right here. He goes defensive, so I'm going to hang out on the outside and try to get a run. He's going to go defensive, so I'm just going to go keep it on the outside and keep the momentum up. He looks at me right there. I'm going side by side. Let's go. Don't know him, but he races me pretty clean. I give him a thumbs up right there. Say, hey, good racing, man. I really appreciate being able to drive into a chicane side by side with somebody. And guess what? We didn't touch. So kart 11 and people that drive like kart 11, that's how it's done. That's how you race people and get raced. You don't have to smash into people to try to get around them, because guess what? We can do that too. And guess what? We're probably going to be better at it than you are if we start racing that way. So I'm kind of glad I drove him off the track. It makes me feel better that I kind of stood up for myself a little bit on track. I just had enough of him, and I keep bringing it up because I just get still pretty annoyed just watching his footage. I just hate that kind of driving. It's completely unnecessary. Takes absolutely no skill to do that. Just smash into people and use your bumpers to get around them. Hell, anybody can do that. All right, let's go try to refocus here. The laps are winding down. We're gonna see if we can pick up another spot. We're in 8th, having a pretty good race so far. Again, starting from 25th. And the leaders are right there. They're not that far away. It's two guys, and then Justin's in third place. He's fighting with them. Kart 22, I think, is pretty fast kart, I think. But I'm going to go inside here. Pick up a spot pretty easy. I don't know what lap we're on, but I can tell that the laps are winding down. You can just kind of feel it, or just sense it, I guess, just given that you've been out there a while. They're going to give us a 2 to go indication. Also, too, they give us the halfway through usually if the flag person is doing their job. All right, 2 guys ahead. I can catch them. I think I can catch them. If I can finish in 5th place, that would be a pretty good showing and a good result. I think we're getting the yellow flag here. What's going on? Yep, that is Juan. That was in kart 5 earlier. He had a mechanical issue and he is out of the race. Very unfortunate that happened. All right, we get a pretty good exit. Now I'm able to see. You can probably see now. I think that's kart number 29. Kart number 29 is the fastest kart in the entire fleet by, I think, a mile. So I see this and I'm thinking, crap, it's going to be hard to pass kart 29. Two to go. So I'll give you an example of how fast it is. I get a great run. Here we go to the inside, and guess what? Kart 29 starts working and my run stops. That's how fast that kart is. You saw that driver messed up those two turns, and I got a great run and closed a big gap on him, and then all of a sudden his car just pulls away. You can't do anything about that. So I'm gonna have to get him in the corners. And he's working on, I think, kart number 6 or whoever that is ahead of him. So I'm looking for some battles here. So it's looking pretty good. I think I can get 1, maybe 2 spots here. I've got about a lap and a half to go to get the job done. I just got to get around 29. And right there, I can't do nothing there. And run into the back of them. And it happens again right there. I just get a way better exit. There's nothing I can do. I can't go to the inside. It's too slippery. Can't go to the outside. I think I figured out what to do there. I'm going to roll off the throttle next time. Maybe apply a little brake and end up behind his bumper. It's going to slow me down, but I'll be behind his bumper versus like run into him. And you see how much that helped him out, how much it hurt me. Huge gap opened up. So I thought about when I was watching this, I was thinking, what can I do to improve in those situations? And I kind of figured I'll try it next time I'm in that situation, that if I'm getting a really good exit off somebody and there's nowhere for me to go, maybe just back off the throttle completely, or maybe even apply a little brake and try not to hit them. And the goal is just to stay on their rear bumper. That way the gap doesn't open up and I can try to pass them in the next corner or next few corners. And then this doesn't happen to me where, again, big, huge gap, worked really hard to close the gap, and now, I have to rely on the guy in 29 to fight with number 6 for me to even have a chance. And I hate having to rely on others to affect the outcome of your race. All right, got a little something happening there. That's good. Go to the inside. That's what I'm thinking. Go to the inside. Go to the inside. Come on. 6 goes defensive. That's still going to be good. It's going to slow them out of down out of the corner here, and it does. I screwed that corner up though. You see 29 go to the bottom. That's good. I'm going to try to keep the momentum up and sneak 1 spot here at the end. I missed the corner completely. I don't think it would have mattered though, and I stay in 7th spot. So overall, it was still a good race for me. Had a pretty good result given where I started. Fun race, and I hope you enjoyed that one. Again, leave me any comments below. Let's talk about this one. If you have any opinions, I'd like to hear them, good or bad, doesn't matter to me. We'll welcome all opinions. So, as always, thanks so much for watching, and if you're still watching this deep into the video, mega thanks to you, because people usually tune out and don't watch the whole thing, as far as I can tell. So anyways, y'all have a good one, and I will see you on the next one. Take it easy.